Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all reading? I just can't wait to be hearing.
Good morning, and welcome to Story Time. Thank you so much for joining me. Happy Wednesday. How quickly this week is moving. Thank you so much for being here with us. For me, at least, it is moving really fast. Thank you so much for being here with us on Story Time, and I hope that you've enjoyed the stories that we've had for you so far this week. Of course, yesterday we read Mama, Do You Love Me from Barbara JOOSE, and today we bring back another one. I Love You, the PURPLEST. This one coming to us also from Barbara JOOSE and Chronicle Books of San Francisco. And illustrations for this one are by WHYTE. I hope you're ready. If you have a copy at home, please follow along. Why not? Thank you so much for joining in Story Time today. Excited to be here with you and to share this wonderful book. What are you up to? How's the weather where you are? Out here in Oakland, we've had a little bit of dry, but I know that there'll be a little bit of spring showers coming up. So if you're in Oakland, keep an eye on the weather and just see what is coming up as we head closer to the weekend. Thank you so much for being here today on Story Time. Absolutely appreciate you. And I hope that wherever you are, you and your loved ones are well. Thank you for being here with us on Story Time. Another great story awaits. And let us see who is with us this morning, ready to enjoy a wonderful story. Good morning to you. How are you doing today? Megan and of course Ari, thank you so much for joining us out in Kentucky. Thank you so much for joining in, and I hope that sunshine means it is nice and sunny out where you are. Thank you so much for joining us today. Yes, warm and windy out there in Kentucky today. Well, thank you so much for sharing, and glad that you are here with us, and we do have a wonderful story to read together. I hope that you've enjoyed what we have, and please remember to keep sending us recommendations if you have any, so that we can bring them here to Story Time. Thank you so much for joining in today on Story Time. Good morning to you. How are you doing, Sarah and Nathan? And of course, Amanda West out in dark and stormy Illinois. Yes, indeed, I've been following the news. Thank you for sharing that. I hope that, you're not too affected with some drastic the drastic weather conditions that you're having right now. I hope that it passes in relative peace. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time, and I hope that you are well, and I hope that this storm spares you, passes through as peacefully as could be. Thank you so much for being here with us on Story Time. Absolutely appreciate you. And also Amanda, thank you indeed for taking part in the polls yesterday. We appreciate that. Thank you so much for being here on Story Time. And I wonder too, is it still going on today as well? It's a good day to stay inside and read books. Oh yes, indeed. It is always a good day, isn't it? For books. Thank you so much for joining in. Absolutely appreciate the positive outlook. Thank you for being here with us on Story Time. And Jamie, sending you love as well today. Thank you for being here with us on Story Time. It's warm and windy out there in Kentucky. Appreciate the love. Thank you, Ari. Thank you so much for sharing that. And get started with our story very shortly. I Love You, the PURPLEST. Get ready for this one. Yes, coming to us from Barbara JOOSE and Mary WHYTE, and this one is coming up very, very shortly after this short break. So join us on the other side of this one, and we get to enjoy our story together. Thank you indeed for being here with us on Story Time. Here we go.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amanda Davis. I'm a children's book author, illustrator, and high school art educator. I am the author of 30,000 Stitches, the inspiring story of the National 9/11 flag, illustrated by Sally Warren Comport and published with Worthy Kids # book group. One thing that drew me to writing 30,000 Stitches was the idea that people from all different communities came out to stitch this flag and make it whole again. So I hope that when people read 30,000 Stitches, they remember the power of sharing our stories. When people came out to stitch the flag, they shared their stories, whether about loss or pain or love. We all have stories to tell, and by sharing our stories and listening to one another's stories, we can create a better understanding of each other and create a sense of connection and unity. And this is what creates a more inclusive world. I hope you enjoy your story time with Mr. Lamada. Bye, everybody.
Welcome back indeed. Thank you, Amanda. Yes, a more inclusive world. We cannot emphasize that enough. That's what we yearn for here at Storytime. That's what we represent. That's what we stand for. And that's what indeed we hope and pray for every single day. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime today. I am glad that you're here with us. And here we go with our story for today. I love you. The Purplest. This one written by Barbara M. JOOSE, illustrations by Mary White. And again, I forgot to, I always forget until I have to read the book to look up the pronunciation for Barbara JOOSE's last name. But Barbara JOOSE and Mary White. And if you do have the pronunciation, please let me know. I love you, the Purplest. Ah, here we go. I love you, the Purplest. I Love You, the Purplest. Written by Barbara M. JOOSE, illustrations by Mary White, and we're reading this one with permission of Chronicle Books of San Francisco, though this particular edition was indeed published by Scholastic for the schools program. Early in the evening, the brothers and their mama finished supper in the sturdy red cabin and set out to fish. Oh. Early in the evening, yes. Early in the evening, the brothers and their mama finished supper in the sturdy red cabin and set out to fish. Have you been fishing before? Do you enjoy it? And set out to fish. The lake slowed its thrashing to a soft, even beat. The mosquitoes dipped low to the water. The mosquitoes dipped low to the water, and the water bugs skittered on top. The moon glowed on one side of the lake, while the sun shimmered on the other. This was the time when fishing was best. Max exploded from the cabin, twirling the shovel in front of him. Mama came next, and then Julian. Julian shut the cabin door tightly to keep it safe from burglars and bears. Time to go fishing. Julian scooped the dirt to find the fattest worms. Max jumped on the shovel and flung dirt in the air until a tangle of worms filled his can. Mama, who has the most worms? He asked. Mama, who has the most worms? He asked. Oh. Mama smiled. Max, your can is full of the liveliest worms. And Julian, your can has the juiciest. Aw. Yes, Mama, who has the most worms? Mama smiled. Max, your can is full of the liveliest worms. And Julian, your can has the juiciest. Aw. Max, Julian, and Mama stepped into the small wooden boat. Julian took one oar and Max took the other. Julian planted his blue boots wide and took deep, even strokes. Max braced his red boots against the ribs of the boat and stroked quickly through the water. The brothers' faces were hot and they gulped at the air. Julian gasped, "Mama, who's the best rower?" Are you competitive with your siblings? Mama, who's the best rower? Mama's eyes grew soft. Why, Julian, you took the deepest strokes. And Max, your strokes were fastest. The three fished until stars sparkled in the sky and water turned dark as night. In the end, Mama caught one fish, Julian caught one fish, and Max caught three. Ah. I am the best fisherman, cried Max, hoisting his fish in the air. Julian pushed his hat brim low on his face. 3 fish? Whoa, what a bountiful fisherman you are, said Mama. And Julian, you're the cleverest. Your fish hid in the weeds, but you waited. When your bobber jerked in the water, you kept your paw high and you reeled in a fine fat fish. Yes. Reeled in fat fish. When the fishing and the baths and stories were done, Mama tucked the brothers into bed. Julian slept in the top bunk, and she reached up to kiss him goodnight. Mama, whispered Julian, his hands forming a tunnel around her ear. Who do you love the best? Mama, who do you love the best? Oh. Mama thought for a minute and then she whispered, Why, Julian, I love you the bluest. I love you the color of a dragonfly at the tip of its wing. I love you the color of a cave in its deepest hidden part where grizzly bears and bats curl up until night. The mist of a mountain, the splash of a waterfall, the hush of a whisper. The breath in Julian's chest grew and grew and grew until he couldn't hold it any longer. Then it came out in one long, velvety sigh. I love you the bluest. Mama crouched low to the bank where Max slept. Max wriggled his finger to Mama to come closer. He whispered, Mama, who do you love best? Mama, who do you love best? Why, Max, I love you the reddest. I love you, the color of the sky before it blazes into night. I love you, the color of a leopard's eyes when it prowls through the jungle, and the color of a campfire at the edge of the flame. A wide open hug, the swirl of a magic cape, the thunder of a shout. The smile on Mac's face grew and grew until his cheeks couldn't hold it in. Then it came out in a big, thundery laugh. Ah, yes. Yes, indeed. Nothing like quite like a mother's love to make you sigh, breathe in deep, and also laugh deeply. Ah, yes. I love you, the reddest. Later in the evening, the brothers and their mama slept, one in the top bunk, glowing like the evening moon, one in the bottom bunk, shimmering like the evening sun, and mama in the big bed, dreaming of the boys she loved best. Ah. Yes, and mama in the big bed, dreaming of the boys she loved best. Ah. Yes, and that is the end of our story. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time today. That was I Love You, the PURPLEST. Yes, indeed. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time. Join me on the other side of this short break when we're back for more Story Time.
Hi, friends. My name is Christy, and I am the author of A Heart in the Sand, also known as Un Corazón en la Arena. Now, this bilingual book is about tesoros, or treasures. And something that I treasure is my friendship with Mr. Lamada. So I have a challenge for you. Share this story time with someone who you treasure, and we can all spread the literary love.
Welcome back indeed. Thank you, Christy Deprin. And I'm so excited today too, because I do later on at the end of the day, I will be meeting Christy and of course her little boy Theo. Thank you so much. And of course, wonderful book. If you've not checked out Heart in the Sand, please do so. We do have it here. We've had Christy here on Storytime, but also find it at your local library. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Absolutely appreciate you. I love you, the PURPLEST. Thank you so much for joining us for that one. Nothing quite like a mother's love and tact to bring that balance. Thank you so much for joining in. And yes, I hope that you have love. I hope that you enjoy this week's books full of love, love, love of the mamas. Thank you so much for being here on Storytime. And tomorrow we bring back another Mommy's Love book. And this one will be here coming to us from Familius. And it is written by Katerina Ladetko and Anastasia Gaukina. This one coming to us tomorrow. So join in and get to enjoy this one as well. Mommy's Love. Yes, this week is all about Mommy's Love for sure. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. I am glad that we were here together. And thank you for joining us. And remember too that Amanda... I was going to say Amanda Wortman. No, Marietta will be here with us on Storytime. See, Amanda, your name, Amanda, is in my head right now. Because I still need to contact you. I will be doing that for sure. Yes, Marietta Apollonia will be here on Storytime on May 11th. Thank you so much for joining in. So please, keep an eye out for that one. It is coming, and she'll be here with us talking more about her work and, of course, showing us her wonderful book. Thank you so much for joining in today. And, of course, to everybody that was joining in, love you so much, too. Thank you indeed, Ari and Megan. Love you out there in Kentucky. I hope that you manage, to stay dry and, of course, stay warm and, of course, enjoy many books as well. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Sarah and Nathan, thinking of you for sure, and Amanda West as well, thinking of you. I hope that everything goes well today. I hope that the storm passes with with very little distraction. Thank you so much for joining in story time. Absolutely appreciate you. And yes, thinking of all the people that are affected in all areas affected by the storm today, and of course everybody else, we're thinking of you. Thank you so much for joining in story time. Absolutely appreciate you, and we'll see you again when we're back tomorrow for more story time, and we will be reading Mommy's Love. Thank you for being here with us on story time. And yes, out there in Kentucky, you're saying it is actually cloudy today. Well, thank you for joining in, and please do stay warm. Thank you for being here with us on story time. Have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful day. The Barbies, we do not forget about them. Thank you so much for joining in story time. I will see you again tomorrow for more story time. This has been story time for today, and please have a wonderful, wonderful day, you and your loved ones. Much love from me. Bye-bye.
Story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start our reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all reading? We just can't wait to be hearing. Brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all reading? We just can't wait to be hearing